basically anything you want to do, go on YouTube, research it. It'll tell you what to do step by step, and go ahead and do it. Welcome everyone to Country File. This week we've got Spencer on the scene in Essex in a farm, and he's talking about a fantastic shed, and there are even cows and dogs all around him. So Spencer, what's going on?
Thanks, mate. I'm not in a shed, although it may look like I'm in a shed. I'm not in a barn, although it might look like there's hay bales behind me. This is actually my office, man. This is my office in my home, in my back garden of my house in Essex, and just outside London for any of those international viewers. I'm building this thing. I've actually built myself my own office. It's actually more than an office. It's a shed. My family call it the shoffice, which is the shed / office. I call it the chalet, thinking more of like a Swiss Alp type chalet. It's all wood. It's going to be beautiful. But let's be honest, it's basically a shed that I'm kind of using as an office.
And why? Why?
Look, man, we've been in lockdown now for a long time. And if you live on your own, or if you've got, not a big family or whatever, then that can work. But it's been really tough for me. I've got kids, I've got a whole family. We haven't got a huge amount of room. I don't have my own space to work in. And I've wanted to have an outdoor office. We've got this amazing big garden. I've wanted to have an outdoor office up here, like since we very first moved into the house. It's taken about 6 years to clear this land because it was overgrown and horrible. And I've also needed the time and the space in order to be able to dedicate and focus on building this thing. And so lockdown has provided that opportunity, an opportunity that you would never get again. And I said way back in, like episodes ago, and we talked about this on a webinar as well, I've set myself a load of activities, a load of projects that I wanted to do during lockdown. Building a shed was one of them, or building an office was one of them.
And so tell me about the process that you've gone through to get up until here.
Look, when I bring people around here, they're like, you built that thing. And I look at it and I go, I built that thing myself without anybody else's help. My daughter every now and again holding a piece of wood up in order to position it. My wife every now and again throwing something onto the roof when I'm standing on the roof in order to help me there. But pretty much everything has been built with these fair hands. And I've never built anything like this before in my life. And I've used YouTube almost exclusively to find out every single step that you need in order to build something like this. I've been hugely inspired by some amazing garden offices that are being built at the moment and that people are making for like £30,000, huge amounts of money. And I thought, right, I can do it. I'm going to do this myself. So I did loads of research on YouTube. I actually constructed the 3D model of the whole thing in a software program called SketchUp, Google SketchUp. It's free. It's amazing. It's so easy to use once you get your head around it. On that model, I plotted where every single piece of wood was going to go. So I knew exactly every single thing, every dimension, where every upright was going to go, where all the floorboards were going to go, all that kind of thing was plotted on this 3D model way back. Like this is back probably about 4 months ago that I started doing this work. In fact, even longer than that, really. And then basically I've just gone through step by step, starting at the bottom and working my way up. So I started with getting a level floor, getting a nice flat floor. Started with the foundations, got that really level. So I built kind of 2.5 meter sections, put them all together, wrapped them all together, put the floorboards on top, and that basically created a nice, firm, good foundation. Did pretty much the same thing with the walls. Built them on the floor, raised them up, and then literally within 2 days, I've got the floor and I've got the walls up. And I thought that was going to take me 2 weeks. But I have to say, I've had some incredible tools. You can't quite see them all, but this bad boy, look at this.
That's a serious, that's dangerous.
This is dangerous. This is an amazing nail gun. And it means that making timber constructions is literally so easy. That's been absolutely incredible. I've also got an amazing chop saw. So yeah, man, you build the walls, you put out the joists in the roof, you clad the roof. That's basically it, right? All I've actually got to do now, because I've got a rubber roof, I've membraned the whole outside, so it's completely watertight, apart from this. which I'll show you very quickly here. This big gap, right? So this big hole is going to be wall-to-wall doors and windows. The whole thing is going to be clad in glass, so I'm going to get loads of light pouring in here. It's going to be amazing for videos. I'm going to get some backdrops so I can change the look of this. And look, the why is really important, and I know we're going to talk a bit about the why. And we've talked about it a little bit before already, because I wanted an office, but actually this is largely about creating a space where I can get everything laid out as a studio. I can work in here as an office, but I can turn this into basically a filming studio for both the Spen and Nick show and any other video stuff that I want to be doing, any courses.
And
Country File. Hey, I'm available for any presenter work that you might want me for. Country File, BBC. Hey, I'm available. But I've only got a day or two a week because I've got to build this thing. It's going to be amazing. Super excited to have this space and get moving in quickly.
So what's the one key takeaway that you want people to leave having watched this?
It's a great question, because look, what does this have to do with the normal stuff that we do on the Spen and Nick show? For me, the big takeaway is you can literally build anything with just two things. The first thing is you need access to the knowledge. So you need YouTube. YouTube is the most amazing tool. And there's a bunch of other websites as well, but YouTube's amazing because it's pretty much everything you can think of. There's a step-by-step guide there, and it's free. The second thing, once you've got the knowledge, is you need the motivation. You need the willingness, determination, the drive. I guess that's kind of where the why comes and your purpose comes from. But if you've got the motivation, you've got the knowledge, you can build anything. The knowledge is free and it's accessible to build anything, man. And the motivation, just you've got to understand what it's going to do for you and the change that it's going to drive you towards. And I know the impact that this is going to have, not just on me, not just on our content that we're creating, but on the rest of my family as well. It means that we can just get so much more structure into our day-to-day lives. It means we can live really well. My walk from home to office is like the coolest walk ever. I've done a little video of that, so I'm going to put that as a little B-roll. That's going to be my walk every day to work, right? That's amazing walk. I might go and get a coffee elsewhere or go for a little walk elsewhere, but like, how cool is that? And then being on hand.
You can pick one up at the climbing frame.
Pick one up at the climbing frame, yes.
But the key takeaway for people is there's nothing that you can't do that you can't find it on YouTube. Basically anything you want to do, go on YouTube, research it. It'll tell you what to do step by step, and go ahead and do it. And it doesn't matter whether it's building a shed, building a chalet, building an office, or starting a YouTube channel, or starting a business. Anything you want to do, go on YouTube and you'll be able to work out how to do it. That's the key lesson, isn't it?
And that is the key lesson. And I mean, it doesn't need any more complexity than that. You've got the access to all the resources. You've got to know that it's going to work for you. It's going to drive some kind of change, some kind of progress in your life. Then what's to stop you? If you've got the knowledge, you've got the motivation, there's nothing stopping you at all.
Perfect. I think that's a good place to finish. We're back in the studio, Country File. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, and we'll see you next week for maybe a non-shared based session. But this has been a fun.
I think we should update. I think we should do an update. There's going to be a lot of change by this time next week, by the next show. So maybe there's an update.
Okay. Perfect. Sounds good to me. All right, everyone. See you later.
See you later.
Bye.